I just turned 30 and I don't know how to feel about it. So let's talk about it. In this channel, we like to capture life and we capture the moment.
I believe in you.
Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Things have been kind of crazy and a bunch of stuff. But the big 3-0, I've been thinking about this number for a while. And over the last few months, I thought about it a lot. And now that it's here, I don't know what to think about it. I don't know how to feel about it. And it's just a little kind of overwhelming, honestly. So there's some mixed feelings about turning 30. There's gratefulness because I never thought I would make it to 30, just because of some things that I have went through in my life. I never thought I would come out of it. Never thought I would get through it. Um, and then there were some decisions that if I would have made those decisions, I would have went through with those choices, I would not be here. So there's the gratefulness of actually making it to 30 and for God allowing me to make it to this point and to see this age and to see this time, in my life. There's excitement because, it's a whole new adventure in life. There's so many things that are to come, adventures and so many experiences that come with 30 and being in your 30s. And so there's some excitement. And there's also the part that nobody seems to really talk about. And that's the sadness part of it, at least for me. Because like ever since I was a kid, I'd always had this plan in my head that by the time I was like 25, 27, I'd be married, have some kids, having my own house and have my own piece of ground, stuff like that. When you turn 30, because it is a big number, um, and a lot of people make a big deal out of it. And it is a huge milestone. 30 is a huge milestone. At least I think it is. Getting to the age of 30 and not having those things that you thought you would by 30, not having the husband, the kids, the house. There's a little bit of pressure I feel like is put on because everybody like keeps asking when you're going to get married, when you're going to have kids, all that stuff. And it kind of just adds to it because I already asked myself, then I've asked God a lot, why hasn't that happened for me yet? And I still don't have an answer. Whether I'll ever get one or not, I don't know. But it's hard, especially when you look around and you see your friends and your family getting married and having kids and all the stuff that you want for your life in your life yourself. And I'm still genuinely happy for my friends and my family. I want nothing but the best for them, and I would love, I'm super excited for them in their life for the things that are going on, like they're getting married or they're having a baby and stuff like that. I'm super excited for that. But a lot of what people don't see is behind closed doors. And yes, I'm very happy for my friends and family that are receiving that blessing in this life. But when I go home, and it sounds bad to say, but when I go home, there's a little bit of when's it going to be my turn type of thing. And of course, turning 30, everybody's like, oh, well, your time's kind of running out. Your clock's ticking. You're this, that, and the other. I know there's people that's gotten like married at like 35 and 34 and has kids at that age and stuff like that as well. But there's always that constant reminder of you're not getting any younger. I'd always thought I had more time until you hit 30, and then like that realization like kind of starts to sit in a way that you really don't have that much time. One, because we're not promised tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in this life. We don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow or not. And two, I don't know if figuring out is the correct term or phrase for it, but trying to figure out if it's the plan for your life. or what the plan is for your life. And I don't know what the plan is for my life. If I did, there would be no reason for me to trust God in the things that I do, whatever it may be. So I don't know what 30 is going to bring. I don't know experiences in the life that 30 is going to bring. I do hope it treats me well. I have a feeling that it will. And there are things that I'm looking forward to with it. And when I turn 30, well, a couple weeks before I turned 30, I did something out of my comfort zone that I probably wouldn't really do really any other circumstance necessarily. But I tried to turn my 30th birthday into a positive thing by going and doing a 30th birthday photo shoot and having fun with it and going out of my comfort zone. Because normally I'm the one that's behind the camera. Most of the time that I'm really in front of the camera is when I do videos for this channel. So, which is not a lot because life is busy and life is crazy. And my life isn't that exciting to where I can film it and vlog it every day. So, like the channel is called, we capture the moments when they happen. Like this one. Turning 30, I'm still processing it. Realizing that, I'm no longer in my 20s, in my 30s. A few days ago, I think it's been a few days ago, maybe a little bit more than that, I was reading scripture and I was reading in the Bible, and I was trying to figure out where to read because I can't just sit down, open my Bible, and start reading it because I feel like I get nowhere and I get distracted and I don't get anything out of it. I feel like I need to be led somewhere to read it, to feel like God is leading me somewhere to read. And I had tried to just open the Bible and start reading, and I was just sitting there and not doing anything. So in John chapter 11, verse 35, is one of my favorite scriptures, and it's probably one of the shortest scriptures in the Bible, and it simply is Jesus wept. And it is when, right before he raises Lazarus from the dead, and it is one of my favorite scriptures because when you go back and you read from like verse 4, there's like 2 or 3 times that he mentions that Lazarus isn't dead, he's sleeping, or that Lazarus will be raised again, or that Lazarus' sickness would not end in death, or that when he told Martha, your brother will rise again. He knew from the very beginning what would happen with Lazarus. He knew the outcome, he knew what was going to happen. And yet, in a moment, gathered around the friends and family, and he saw the weeping in the morning of those people, of the friends and family, he wept. He wept because he felt grief and compassion in that moment for the loss, even though he knew what the outcome was going to be, even though he knew what was going to happen, even though he knew that Lazarus was going to be raised from the dead, he still wept. He still had a moment of grief and compassion, and that's why when they say that Jesus can help us through everything and anything, he can, because he has experienced it all himself. It doesn't matter what we go through or what we experience. We can always go to Jesus because he knows how to get us through it, because he got through it himself. That's how I take it. That's how I take this scripture. Even though he knew that he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, even though he knew that, he knew the outcome, he still grieved for the loss of his friend because of the love that he had for his friend. And for me, this scripture teaches us that grief is a human experience. It's a human emotion, and it's okay to feel it because we all do. We're human. Life happens to everybody. But it also teaches us something else that I've had to learn in the past few months, few weeks, especially with turning 30 and not having the things in life that I wanted to have by 30, with a husband, kids, and being a mom. And it teaches us that, yes, it's okay to feel the grief and the sadness over things, whatever it may be. It may not be the loss of a friend. It may not be the fact that you're still single and you're waiting for God to bring you bring you that husband or bring you that wife, or waiting for God to bring you that child that you've been praying for. Whatever it may be. I don't know your situation. But the scripture teaches us that yes, it's okay to feel the grief and the sadness, but it's not okay to stay there and live in it. Even in the hard moments, even in the sad days, Jesus is there in the midst of all of it. And he knows how you feel because he's experienced it. Jesus did walk the earth as a man, and he felt emotions, and he was even tempted by the Satan. So he's felt all the things that we have felt, the emotions, the sadness, the excitement, because we're human. We're not exempt from the life that we live and the things that happen in this life. We're not exempt from that. It happens to everybody. But even in the hard moments, and even in the sad days, Jesus is always there and he's in the midst of everything. And even then, even in those hard times and in those sad days, somehow, some way, God's glory still shines. God still prevails in all of it. And I have leaned on this scripture and leaned on this because I can sit here and stay in my sadness and my grief over something in a sense that I've had before because I have been married. So I can have those days where I grieve and I miss the things that I had, and I can ask questions why, you know, when is it going to be my turn type of thing, and all this other stuff. And I can dwell on all the negativity and I can dwell on the things that I don't have, and I can just be in a bad mood all the time. But then I would probably never see my miracle. I would probably never see the other side of it. So I choose to keep this scripture in my heart because no matter what, turning 30 is an awesome thing. It is a blessing, and I'm very, very thankful and grateful that I have made it this far because there was a time that I didn't think I would. And I'm so grateful and thankful to serve and to love a God who allowed me to make it this far, to put me on a path that got me here. And wherever that path goes, I don't know, but I've learned to trust that He is taking care of everything. Because one thing I've learned in 30 years is that fear will teach you what if. What if I'm not married by 30? What if I never find a husband? What if I go here and it's not what I thought it was? What if? But faith has taught me, even if I turn 30 and I don't have a husband and I don't have kids, or even if I go somewhere and it doesn't work out the way I thought it would, even if Jesus is still there. Jesus is there no matter what. The big 3-0, a new decade, a new era, a new adventure, new experiences, new path, and continuing to walk with God the best that I can, because I am human, but knowing that even if the things that I want don't happen, God is still there, and He is in the midst of everything. To my 30s, I can't wait. To my 20s, thank you, because my 20s and the things that I have went through in my 20s and before have shaped me into the woman that I am in my 30s. I am so proud of the person that I am, of the woman that I am, of the person that I will be, of the woman that I will be, and one day of the wife and the mom that I will be. Because just because it doesn't happen when I expected it to, doesn't mean it won't happen at all. I have to trust that God has a plan, and I may not know what that plan is, but I trust Him. Because if I didn't, I don't know where I'd be, and I don't think I would probably be here, sitting here today, talking to you about turning 30. Thank you for watching today's video. Here's to turning 30, and here's to the life that awaits, and the experiences that await, and the blessings that await, and the things that God has in store that I have no idea about. I am excited to see what it holds, to see what my 30s hold, to see what the future holds, to see what God has in store. And here's to making 30 a great thing. So to my 20s, thank you. To my 30s, I can't wait. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.